Welcome back to Insightful Gaming, where we explore the coolest and strongest builds in Destiny. Today, I want to introduce you to an amazing build for Arc Warlocks. This build is not only super fun, but it also makes you incredibly powerful. We're using a long-forgotten Warlock exotic that isn't commonly used in Destiny anymore. I'm talking about none other than the Getaway Artist, and let me tell you, this thing absolutely shreds in PvE content. The Getaway Artist has an awesome exotic perk called Dynamic Duo. When you activate this perk, your arc grenade transforms into an arc soul, and you are amplified on top of that. In case if you're not familiar with what an arc soul is, think of it as an autonomous turret that follows you around, shooting lasers at your foes. But hold on, it gets even better. With this build, you can have not just one, but two of these babies, all thanks to our aspects. And here's the best part. You'll have infinite energy with this build, allowing you to maintain 2 arc souls with unlimited healing rifts. Enough of that intro. If you enjoyed this build and found it helpful, please don't forget to like the video, leave a comment below, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting builds and gaming content. Guardians, now that we've set the stage, let's jump right into the heart of this build, which is an updated version of our classic arc setup, tweaked to make the most of the new mod system. For aspects, we're running Arc Soul alongside Electrostatic Mind, giving us an excellent blend of offense and support. Arc Soul comes into play when you place a rift down, spawning a little Arc Soul companion that deals damage for you and your teammates. When you're amplified, these Arc Souls get an increased rate of fire, and they're no joke. These buffed up buddies can deal some serious damage. Plus, the aspect also recharges your rift faster when allies are nearby, so you're constantly providing healing and extra firepower for your team. Now let's talk about Electrostatic Mind. This aspect creates ionic traces whenever you defeat an enemy with an arc ability or when they're jolted or blinded. Picking up these traces will amplify you, granting increased movement speed and ability regeneration. With this aspect, pretty much every part of your kit can create these traces, and they'll synergize incredibly well with your Arc Souls. Now let's dive into the weapons we'll be rocking in this build. You've got 3 stellar options for your primary weapon, so take your pick. If you're lucky enough to have the Catalyst, No Time to Explain is a fantastic choice. If not, no worries, Quicksilver Storm and Osteostriga are both excellent alternatives. What do these weapons have in common, you ask? Well, they all pack a punch with solid range and impressive single target damage. And the cherry on top, they'll sync up perfectly with your 2 wicked autonomous turrets, making your build even more unstoppable. What's especially cool is that your Arc Soul kills will also generate ionic traces, which in turn keep you amplified and maintain that increased Arc Soul fire rate. This perfect harmony of abilities is what will enable you to spam your abilities and dominate the battlefield. In a nutshell, this build combines offensive and support capabilities with powerful synergies between aspects, ensuring that you and your teammates are always ready to tackle whatever challenges come your way. Now let's move on to the abilities we're rocking in this build. These bad boys are going to make you a force to be reckoned with. For our super, we're unleashing the raw power of Chaos Reach, a concentrated beam of arc energy that decimates anything in its path. When it comes to our class ability, we're going with the ever-reliable Healing Rift. With this ability, you'll create a circle of light on the ground that'll keep you and your fire team in tip-top shape by restoring health over time. Plus, with the Arc Soul aspect in play, you'll also spawn powerful Arc Soul companions, increasing your team's damage output and synergizing perfectly with your amplified state. For our melee ability, we've chosen Ball Lightning. This bad boy sends out a slow-moving projectile that deals arc damage and chains lightning to nearby enemies. Talk about electrifying. And as you defeat enemies with this ability, the Electrostatic Mind aspect will generate ionic traces, boosting your movement speed and ability regeneration. Last but not least, we're equipping Flashbang Grenade for our grenade ability. This versatile grenade not only deals damage but also blinds enemies caught in its blast radius, giving you the upper hand in any fight. When combined with the ionic traces from the Electrostatic Mind aspect, you'll have even more opportunities to amplify yourself and keep your abilities charged. For our fragments, we're kickstarting the fun with Spark of Shock. This electrifying fragment makes your arc grenades jolt targets, but be prepared for a small penalty of 10 discipline. However, with the ionic traces from the Electrostatic Mind aspect, you'll still be able to regenerate your abilities quickly. Next, we're pumping up the volume with Spark of Amplitude. This incredible fragment creates an orb of powder when you rapidly defeat targets while amplified. Since we're constantly amplified thanks to our aspects and abilities, you'll be swimming in a sea of orbs of power. These orbs will help recharge your abilities, keeping the cycle of grenades and rifts going for even more Arc Souls. We're also bringing the heat with Spark of Brilliance. This fragment means that precision damage on blinded targets creates a blinding explosion, adding some extra crowd control to the mix. Lastly, we've got Spark of Resistance in our arsenal. This fragment boosts your resistance when you're surrounded by enemies, making you tougher in those tight spots. This is a flexible slot though, so feel free to swap it out for any other fragment that suits your playstyle. I personally like to have it as a backup, so I got that extra tankiness when things get hairy. Let's dive into the armor mods that'll amp up our power even more. On our helmet, we're rocking Kinetic Siphon, generating extra orbs of power when rapidly defeating foes with a kinetic weapon. Combined with the Spark of Amplitude fragment, will be an orb-generating machine. Next, we got not one but two Ashes to Assets mods. These bad boys give us bonus energy on grenade kills, which is perfect since our Arc Souls will be scoring those kills on the regular. Moving on to our gloves with Getaway Artist, we've got the Firepower Armor mod, spawning even more orbs of power. We're also using Bolstering Detonation for some sweet class ability energy when dealing grenade damage. And to top it off, we've got the Grenade Kickstart mod, giving us grenade energy when fully expended. This mod consumes armor charges, but don't sweat it, we'll have plenty to spare. For our chests, we're doubling up on charged up mods, increasing our armor charges by 2. On our boots, we're using stacks on stacks, granting an additional armor charge stack when picking up orbs of power. This combo with charged up keeps our kickstart mods fueled and ready to go. Next, we are using one innervation for reducing our grenade cooldown, and we are also using insulation to reduce our class ability cooldown further. Last but not least, our Warlock Bond is sporting the Reaper mod, spawning an orb of powder after using your class ability and scoring a weapon final blow. We've also got the Trusty Bomber mod, reducing our grenade cooldown when using our class ability. And finally, we're using the Utility Kickstart mod, granting class ability energy when fully expended at the cost of armor charges. Alright guys and gals, we've gone through every little detail of this epic build, so let's chat about how to pull off these sweet combos and make the most of it. First off, chow down on your grenade to snag an Arc Soul and get amped up, all thanks to our fancy Getaway Artist exotic. Then pop your healing rift somewhere safe yet close to the action, so you and your pals can chill and heal while your Arc Soul buddies join the fray. Stick close to your teammates to keep that rift recharging quick. Now you've got 2 amped up Arc Souls blasting away like there's no tomorrow. Trust me, they'll tear through enemies like butter. While your Arc Souls are wreaking havoc, whip out your primary weapon. No time to explain Quicksilver Storm or Osteostriga, and start picking off enemies, racking up those orbs of power with Kinetic Siphon on your helmet. Your Arc Souls will also deal damage and create more ionic traces to keep you amped up. By now, your double Arc Soul action should be in full swing, and you'll have a grenade ready to throw. Not consumed this time because our soul is still up. So toss that grenade to blind your foes, which is perfect for Echo of Brilliance, since precision damage on blinded targets makes them go boom with blinding explosions. Don't forget to use your melee on cooldown too. Smashing enemies with your ball lightning melee and flashbang grenade generates even more ionic traces, boosting your movement speed and ability regen when you pick them up. Make sure to snag those orbs of power created by your Spark of Amplitude fragment as you defeat enemies while amped up. This keeps your abilities charged and the cycle of grenades and rifts rolling for endless Arc Soul support. Lastly, keep an eye on those armor charges so you can make the most of your mods like Grenade Kickstart and Utility Kickstart, granting you that sweet ability energy when fully expended. This build is all about synergy, amplifying your arc abilities and keeping a constant flow of orbs of power and ionic traces. You'll be rocking 2 amped up Arc Souls by your side all the time, making this build insanely fun and powerful. With your abilities always charged, Arc Souls active, and team supported with healing and extra firepower, you'll be a force to be reckoned with. If you enjoyed this build and found it helpful, please don't forget to like the video, leave a comment below, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting builds and gaming content. Thanks for watching.